Okay, so now we're going to look at how we can use SPSS to do the hypothesis testing that we've been looking at. So if you go back and think about what we did in section 7.3, we were doing hypothesis testing with OneSample. And so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do the t-test for the mean mu. We're going to use SPSS to do the data analysis that will bring us to give us that p-value, and we can make our decision and our interpretation from that. So this will allow us to fill in what we weren't doing before with some of the later t-tests, and so we'll see how this can be done practically. All right, so let's take a look. So we have a problem here involving class size. A brochure from a large university. The mean class size for full-time faculty is fewer than 32 students, mu less than 32. You want to test this claim. You randomly select 18 classes and determining the class size, and those are the values over here. Alpha of 0.05, can you support the university's claim? All right, let's set up the hypothesis test because that's still something we always need to do. So mu less than 32 has to be in the alternative, not having the equals, and the null must be mu greater than or equal to 32. And the alternative here was the claim, and hence that's why with the claim in the alternative, we're being asked to talk about whether or not we can support the university's claim. Furthermore, this is a left-tailed test with the mu less than 32 in the alternative there. Okay, so we're going to look at this in two ways. We're going to look at it here on the sort of instructional sheet, and we're also going to look at it in SPSS itself. Now, you don't likely have a copy of SPSS on your home computer, and that's okay. I'm going to show you how it's done. If you would like, you can actually get a copy of SPSS with student access, and you could do that, but otherwise it's okay. I want you to see how it's done, and what we're really going to be practicing is how we can interpret the output. And so that's what I'll show you. So the first step would be to input all your data. So that's what I've shown here, where I've chosen to call it size, and there are the 18 pieces of data having been entered. So let me go to SPSS itself. All right, so that's what I'm showing here, the size and all the data here. So once we have that in, we would just go to Analyze, Compare Means, OneSample t-test, because that's what we want to do. Just click on it. All right, now this would start out over here. So if you have the size over here, that's the variable we want to look at. If you had more, then we just pick this one. We put it over here under the test variables. And here I've already plugged it in, but it might start as saying 0. So 32 is the value we're choosing to compare for the mean. So we said mu less than 32, but we know that with a hypothesis test, we base it off of mu equals to 32 and make our judgment from there. So once we have this set up, that's pretty much it. We're just going to hit OK, and in the output window here, we get this nice output. All right, so we've been given here that the size of the sample, its mean, its standard deviation, and the standard error of the mean, all stuff that we've looked at before in this sample statistics here. But down here is the one sample test we want to look at. All right, it's given us the t-value, the degrees of freedom. This here is the significance. So this is our p-value here. But please note that it is giving us a two-tailed p-value. We're going to have to work with that. And then some more information concerning information coming out of this test we won't look directly at. All right, so that's what we want to take a look at. So let's go back to this. So here I've just summarized that where we chose the test, we chose the variable we wanted to look at, and we put in a test value here. And this is the output that we ended up with. Okay, so let's look deeper here. Here is the sigma. But again, remember, what's been given here is two-tailed. Our problem, if you'll remember, let me summarize it up here, was h0 mu greater than or equal to 32, and ha mu less than 32, where this is the claim. And we said this was left-tailed, so this is one-tailed, this is not the two-tailed version. So we have to go here, and we want to take our p-value as 1/2 this 0.069. Whoops. 0.069. Okay, which would be 0.0345. So again, we're taking half because this is one-tailed. If we were doing the two-tailed version, then we would just take that value as it is. But if we're doing a one-tail, then we have to take half of it. Okay, so now that we have that, that's all we needed to really make our decision. So we're saying that we have this 0.0345 as our p-value. If you remember at the beginning, we were given an alpha of 0.05. This p-value is less than that alpha. That always means we reject h0. Looking back, remember this is a support mode situation. We rejected, we did have the evidence to reject h0. Says here. So as far as the claim is concerned, we are able to take ourselves to the alternative. So there is enough evidence at the 5% significance level to support the claim. So indeed, we were able to support the claim in this hypothesis test. So that's how we can use SPSS to accomplish the necessary procedure in the hypothesis test.